Some of the people behind Digital Foundry, a media site that covers new tech, have gotten literal death threats over praising or covering DLSS 5, which is NVIDIA's new AI upscaling technology that's going to roll out. They had a video, and we'll take a look at that video and show you what this thing actually does. They were talking about it, I guess, favorably, and they got threats over it, and then they decided they were going to walk it back. And again, this is the anti-AI crew, and I'm going to show you some of the proposed community notes on NVIDIA's post. This is insane because I think I know what's going on here. What's going on is a lot of devs are losing their jobs because the games they've been working on have not been selling for a variety of reasons. And they're taking it out on the technology and the people that cover the technology, even if it's a completely objective thing you're not allowed to talk about. Kind of like Harry Potter. You're not allowed to talk about it, even objectively, even though Harry Potter is making boatloads of money. Because if you talk about it, you're somehow signing off on everything that J.K. Rowling has ever said, and you must be a transphobe. It's the same with this. If you sign off on this, then you love the AI, and you're responsible or partly responsible for people losing their jobs. And it's actually going to be this weird boomerang, I think, for a lot of these people. If you're this obsessed with the technology and you're resorting to death threats, threatening people, I'm sure people that have done AI art or whatever for different media outlets have been threatened. You're going to be the first ones to go because you're dangerous, you're unhinged, and if the machine can do your job and they don't have to deal with your bullshit, that's what's going to happen. You're going to be the first ones that get gone. Not because you won't play ball with the AI, but because you're clearly mentally disturbed. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Check it out on X at Kneon, Kneon. Every once in a while, I'm going to be doing some live streams over there. Not doing them on YouTube because I don't want to be anybody's dancing monkey. That's basically it. I feel like over on YouTube, you got to do the super chat dance. No offense to people who do that. It's just not my thing. I don't want to do it. I'd rather have a conversation. Except I don't want to have a conversation with people that, wish me dead over this. So let's walk it back here real quick and show you what DLSS 5 does, so you have a better understanding of why these people are losing their shit. This is the video from NVIDIA. It came out a couple of days ago, and it's kind of an upscaler plus. Like, it takes an existing game, I guess. My understanding of it, it takes an existing game and upscales it and adds details. Now, the problem with that from an artistic standpoint is the original artwork no longer exists. It's basically overwriting the original artwork, and in some cases, the results are garish, but it is technically impressive. I mean, what's interesting about this is you could theoretically take a game that's unpopular and just wipe the visuals and put all new visuals in. Like, oh, this character has a dumpy female protagonist. That's okay. We'll just give her big boobs. That's what we're going to do. But here we go. Here's the announcement. Check this out. The Resident Evil Requiem. Here, I'll blow this up a little so you can see. Yeah, she looks way more detailed, but also very, very AI. So it's off, on, and it looks like a different character. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I get it. It is really just kind of overwriting the original graphics, but it's impressive. I mean, it really is impressive. Now, how much is this going to cost? Hey, look, they fixed Starfield. Kind of. That's off, on. Is it the same person? It's almost uncanny valley though, because the characters look photorealistic, but they still move like video game characters, so it's kind of stilted. Anyway, I'm going to show you the community notes here. just so you know what we're dealing with, because I was looking at this the other day. Here we go. AI technology has disastrous effects on the environment. The majority of gamers did not ask for this. That's actually true. DLSS 5 does the contrary of what fidelity means. AI slop. This person says, notes not needed. Community notes are most useful when they correct false information or claims. NVIDIA is marketing a product and not making claims about environmental impact. Someone who isn't a fan of the risk of AI slop, community notes isn't for opinions and harassment. NVIDIA is developing the tech. This isn't what community notes is for. Stop abusing community notes. The video is real. It's technology being developed by NVIDIA. You're not providing context. Take your opinions to the comments. It's a tech demo. Nothing incorrect about it. Take your opinions. It's controversial, but a real product announcement. Yes. Oh my God. They got rid of a lot of them, but there were a whole ton of community notes on this video that basically it was people that were ass mad that they were using AI technology, right? And it's like, again, the more you push back, the more you kind of lose whatever moral high ground you think you have, and the more things are going to go in the opposite direction of what you want, right? So that takes us to here. Digital Foundry covered it, and they got threats, apparently. Digital Foundry says they got death threats over NVIDIA DLSS 5 coverage coming from Deserto. They said members of the team received death threats after their coverage of NVIDIA's DLSS 5 sparked backlash. Founder Richard Ledbetter admits they should have waited before publishing their first impressions. All right, and that takes us to this. Digital Foundry says they got death threats over NVIDIA DLSS 5 coverage. Their team received death threats after their coverage of DLSS 5 sparked backlash, according to Deserto. Founder Richard Ledbetter admits they should have waited before publishing their first impressions. Why? It's technology. They're not saying, hey, run out and use this or whatever. The tech analyst outlet known for deep dives on game performance had early access to DLSS 5 through NVIDIA demos. However, their initial video was criticized by viewers who felt it lacked enough scrutiny of the tech. It was the first impression. The reaction quickly escalated online, with some accusing Digital Foundry of failing to challenge NVIDIA's messaging claims about DLSS 5, which has faced broader criticism for giving character models an artificial beauty filter look. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think and in some cases, the games are clearly meant to be stylized and you're making them photorealistic. And it kind of reminds me of, do you remember a couple of years ago, they had the photorealistic Mario going around and how uncanny it looked, or the photorealistic Homer Simpson? That's what it kind of reminds me of. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang said the criticism is completely wrong. Digital Foundry calls the threats unacceptable. Yeah. In a follow-up direct video, the team acknowledged the criticism and said the original coverage was rushed. I'm going to kick off by holding my hand up and saying, yeah, we understand a lot of feedback to the video, and I don't think we did a good enough job on the day. We had a lot to say, not a lot of time to say. It went straight to seeing the demos and to making the video. We needed extra time. Despite the criticism, Digital Foundry also condemned the extreme reactions directed at its staff. You're really not going to make your point effectively by actively threatening or sending death threats to the team. This is crossing the line and totally unacceptable. Yeah, so here's the video, or a clip of the video. We're going to go over here and look at this, and let's see what he was saying. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think these people that are, I mean, it's anything, whether they're ranting about there not being enough inclusion in media, or, again, the boogeyman now is AI. And a lot of these people that are sending threats are probably unemployed video game industry workers who are just raging, like literally raging against the machine. And they're picking the wrong targets. And it's going to backfire on you. I mean, not only will you not be able to work in the industry again because you're an asshole, but you could possibly wind up in jail. And then that's it. That's the end of it. But here's his reaction to it.
I'm going to kick off, first of all, by holding my hand up and saying that, yeah, we understand a lot of the feedback to the video. And I don't think we did a good enough job on the day. We had a lot to say, not a lot of time to say it. And we went straight from seeing the demos into making the video. And yeah, beyond that, hindsight is a wonderful thing, right? But we should have taken more time with the material. And I think it would have been prudent to wait to see the reaction from the audience and the developers to the keynote. And audience and developers, both super important to what we do. Opinion is clearly divided on this one, but looking over social media, it's been interesting to see varying opinions from both sides of the argument, audience and developers alike. Even so, lessons learned.
So, yeah, and he said that it's unacceptable to, looks like he's sneezing, unacceptable to send threats. So this is Tej Tech said, I want to point out that this video is a complete mask off moment, exposes how the influencer game works. Well, I don't think anybody was surprised by that. When you get to a certain size, if you're a reviewer or something like that, they're going to come knocking. They're going to want you to cover their shit, right? And I said before, and I'll mask off moment, and everybody know, I think most people know this. We used to be Disney influencers. Like literally that's, I mean, it wasn't like we're on Disney's payroll per se, but we had websites and podcasts, and we covered Disney theme parks, and we had media access, and we had contacts at Disney. And, so that's why we talk about Disney so much. People are like, well, you're just chasing the chuck wagon, the hate train. Actually, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to be honest, I am pretty sure we invented the Disney, anti-Disney chuck wagon by accident because we were trying to tell people what was actually going on in the company. And then other people that had no association with the company whatsoever kind of took it and ran with it and then ramped it up. But that's just my personal opinion. You're allowed to have your opinions on whatever, but we actually had experience, working with the company. But yeah, you were not allowed to say unkind things with a company like Disney, especially. Like I gave a lukewarm review to, and I always use this analogy to as an example, Toy Story Land. When they opened Toy Story Land, they said it was, it was pretty nice, but it was too hot. And I got an email from Disney like that day. Like, what do you mean it's too hot? You need to say nice things. Say nice things if you want to come back next time. Yeah, so that's totally how it works. But he's like, what you're watching isn't an authentic take. It's calculated pandering. They're just feeding their viewers exactly what they want to hear rather than what they actually believe. The irony here is these influencers are entirely influenced themselves by the internet's herd mentality. Yeah, some of them are. See also Hasbro. See also the board game industry right now is definitely on the anti-AI bandwagon, and the correct take for a lot of these people, and because for them it literally is an existential crisis, the correct take is you will have nothing to do with AI at all. The problem is if your job is to cover the video game industry and the video game industry is transitioning to AI, it's inevitable that you will have to talk about AI. It's inevitable that people will use AI as a tool. Hasbro is getting a lot of backlash right now because they're saying, hey, we're not going to use AI in, we're going to use AI in everything except Dungeons and Dragons and Magic because the fandom, I'm using my air quote fingers here, the fandom doesn't like it. But I guarantee you they're using it. They're just not telling anybody they're using it because they know these people are batshit crazy. So yeah, don't make death threats over shit like this. That's stupid. Just don't support it if you don't want to. But again, I think we have a lot of unemployed game devs and game journos who are blaming AI for their job losses. And really, I think AI hastened the inevitable for you because you probably weren't going to last anyway because the economy is just not there. It's just not there. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.